Salutations and welcome to my channel. JRPG fans are eating good currently with big budget titles from the biggest companies within the space, but one subject that I've always been personally very interested in is the rise of Western developed indie JRPGs. Now, before we dive in, I just want to address what I personally refer to as a Western indie JRPG. The term JRPG has been quite a topic in the recent year, and to be honest, the term Western JRPG doesn't actually make any sense, but in this context I refer to it as an RPG game that is directly inspired by one or multiple RPG games developed in Japan. And with that, let's start off with a couple of games that are already out. Make sure to stick to the end where I will highlight a couple of upcoming games and hopefully you'll be able to discover something that wasn't on your radar before. Chained Echoes is a game inspired by 90s JRPGs developed by a solo developer, featuring pixel art inspired by the 16-bit era. Chained Echoes was inspired by titles such as Xenogears, Secret of Mana, Suikoden 2 and many more, making it one not to miss out on if you're a fan of the all-time classics. And speaking of time and classics, it's hard to ignore just how important and impactful Chrono Trigger has been, which serve as one of the big inspirations for the next title, Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars is another pixel art turn-based RPG developed by Sabotage Studios, the team that brought us The Messenger. Sea of Stars might be one of the most visually striking games that I've ever played, and I personally loved it so much that I grabbed all of the achievements. A charming game filled with personality, and while the character and stories may be more on the safe side, the world, combat, music and gameplay really makes this one shine. Featuring some really cool gameplay elements worth experiencing if you're a fan of these types of games, it even features guest composer Yasunori Mitsuda of Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross and Xenoseries fame. While making an ode to the past is always appreciated, perhaps you're in the mood for something more modern. That's where Eternights come in. Being openly inspired by the Persona franchise, Eternights is an action RPG featuring dating and life sim elements similar to its inspiration. It's the debut title from Studio Sai, which has since gone to raise $7 million in seed funding for the second project. I'm excited to see what the studio can create after the knowledge gained from Eternights and with a bigger budget to back it. Now that I've covered 3 titles that are available now for you to play, let's focus ahead on the future with 3 upcoming titles. Starting strong with the striking Sky Ocean's Wings for Hire, featuring Studio Ghibli inspired visuals. Sky Ocean's Wings for Hire is a turn-based RPG that draws inspiration from many JRPG classics such as Skies of Arcadia. The game is being developed by Chile-based developer Osteto Studios, and on a personal note, it's awesome to see more indie devs coming out of Chile, and it looks like they're aiming for the skies with this one. Stunning and charming, we will hopefully not have to wait too long to get our hands on the full release, as it's currently slated to release sometime this year. Next up we have Runa, an absolutely gorgeous game that hit Kickstarter earlier this year, not only hitting its initial goal but also all of its stretch goals. This ambitious project promises a striking, story-rich world, turn-based combat, social links, elemental puzzles, base building and minigames such as fishing and farming. While it remains to see if Phoenix Studio can deliver on all of this, Runa is definitely a title worth keeping an eye on. The devs are very active and open with communications, which is always a good sign. And last but not least, we have Alsara Radiant Echoes, a newly announced 3D turn-based RPG and the debut title from Studio Camellia. Drawing inspiration from JRPGs such as Golden Sun, the game is currently live on Kickstarter and at the time of recording having almost double its initial goal. If you're not sold already, we have industry legends such as Motoi Sakuraba of Star Ocean and Golden Sun fame involved with the soundtrack, and Yoshiro Ambe of Fire Emblem Heroes fame on board to draw 4 main NPCs as the Kickstarter's final stretch goal, which will almost certainly be hit. And with that, this concludes the games for this video. I hope you managed to discover at least one new game to put on your radar, and if so, a like would always be appreciated. Thank you for sticking with me to the end of my first YouTube video, I really do appreciate it. Here's hoping there's plenty more to come. Until next time.